Hi, and welcome into GTS Studios here in the golf capital of the world, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thrilled to be joined today by Jay Smith, who's the general manager at Prestwick Country Club. And Jay, we got to talk about Pete Dye and P.B. Dye.
Absolutely.
They designed your golf course,
They
and
did.
every time I go out there, I'm a huge Pete Dye fan, and P.B. as well. And every time I go out there, I mean, it's just a wonderful example of their architecture, and you got to be really proud of Prestwick.
I am. It's a wonderful layout, as you well know. It's it's your typical Pete Dye and PB Dye golf course. It's a little challenging, just a little bit. It's not too hard. We do offer 6 sets of tees to try to help, whoever's playing. But you're right. It's got the normal pot bunkers, a lot of mounding on the sides of the fairways, and the fairways are real rolling. It's pretty generous off the tee.
One of the things I've noticed about Pete Dye Golf Course is the first time you play it, it absolutely scares you to death, because the fairways, they do look generous after you've played it a couple times.
Yep.
But that first time, you're like, you stand up on the tee and you're like, I got no place to hit this but in the water.
You're absolutely correct off the tee. They don't look wide, but they actually are. It's really the second shots, or the shots into the green, second shot, third shot, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But you can't roll the ball up on the greens. You have to fly it, and they're kind of, most of them are domed a little bit, so the ball will roll off, and you can get some pretty funky lies. So.
Well, I know you guys, every time I go to Prestwick as well, you take great pride in the speed of your greens. Tell me about the speed that you try to maintain.
So other than when we aerify, which is in the summer and really August, we try to maintain them at around an 11, which is quick, but not so quick that you scare everybody. But we try to keep them 10.5 to 11, and our superintendent does a wonderful job of that. And that's one of the things that you probably heard it as well. We're probably known for around the Grand Strand as having the most consistent, true, and fast greens at the same time. If you get it online, it'll go in, but if you hit it a little too hard, it's not a lot of fun.
And everybody loves good, smooth, fast greens. Yeah,
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
So a lot of times when people hear Pete Dye, they think railroad ties, and they seem to think that Pete Dye invented the railroad ties.
Sure.
What I think is really neat is the original Prestwick in Scotland was laid out by old Tom Morris.
Yep.
And he was actually the first guy to use railroad ties on some of the holes there at Prestwick. Yeah. And Pete Dye obviously saw that, liked it, has integrated into all of his golf courses, including our Prestwick here in Myrtle Beach. But those railroad ties, after a while, they need some maintenance. And I know you guys have just been through that with your bulkheads on the golf course.
They do. So I can tell you a good story about Prestwick in Scotland. The family that owns Prestwick, the Jackson family, they actually, when they were building Prestwick, they got in a plane with Pete and P.B. Dye and the main designer of the neighborhood out there, and they flew over and they met with Prestwick in Scotland to make sure it was okay if they named this one Prestwick.
Wow.
They actually asked them if it was okay, and they agreed, and for 3 or 4 years after, they would send I think it's their secretary is the head of their golf course over there. They would send him over. He came over for the inaugural opening day they had. So it's kind of neat. There was a nice little, tie between the two. And there's a few more Prestwicks in the U.S. and apparently I don't know if they did that or not. But
Yeah, I'm doubting they probably didn't.
They probably didn't, but the Jacksons wanted to, Mr. and Miss Jackson, and they really enjoyed it, and got the okay to name it Prestwick, so it was good.
That's what great respect paying that they paid to one of the oldest golf courses around. Of course, Prestwick in Scotland, host of the first British Opens. So.
They hosted about close to 20, I believe.
Yeah.
But they really appreciated the fact that they went over and asked, and so it was a good story.
Yeah, no, that's really neat.
But you are right. We had a lot of bulkheads that were put in to hold up greens, hold up areas right around the greens. 16 green, 5 had them at one point. We changed that. 9 and 18 we just changed this past summer. You saw it when you were out there a month or two ago. Looks really, really good.
Yeah, it does.
The 2 holes right behind the clubhouse looks really sharp. And we were able to add a little bit of land, so we made it a little bit easier to hit into 9 green. And then we changed the one on 16, which is a par 3, where it's an elevated tee and you hit down to it, and it's got a little creek. And we picked up land there because the railroad ties were slanted, and the wall we built stands straight up. So we picked up some, fair amount of ground. And on 16, we actually made a bunker.
Yeah.
That was never there, and so we're trying to keep a few balls out of the water. Make it a little easier.
Thank you.
It seems to work, but you're in a bunker, but you're not, you don't have to take a penalty shot, so
Yeah.
it's good.
Well, one of the things I know that you take pride in as well is the fact that you have this feel like you're high-end private club, but yet the public can have access to the golf course.
Absolutely. When it first opened up, it was totally private. And then along the way, started allowing some hotel play, package play. And then as it grew and membership unfortunately was declining, as you know, years ago, the family decided to dissolve the membership, and so now we're completely public. So you can make a tee time by booking it online. You can book it through any golf packager down here, however you'd like to do it.
And not only is it great, Pete and PB design, it's always in very good condition with the fast and smooth greens. It fits good on any itinerary because you guys are right in the middle of everything.
We're on 544 in Surfside, and we're 10 minutes from the airport, which is extremely important. Yeah, and we're close to all the main hotels in Myrtle Beach. Well,
Jay Smith, he's a general manager of Prestwick Country Club. Make sure you get it on your itinerary when you come down to visit us here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world. Jay, thanks for spending time with us in the studio this morning.
Thanks for having me.